Hello everyone, and on this video we're going to model the elephant, and we are going to use the reference image. You can download it as well as other reference images we will need on this course. And let's go to view image plane and click import image. We will be able to find image named Slon. That's how you say elephant in Russian language, Slon. So right now, as I'm staying in perspective, you can see image kinda got glued or stuck in perspective camera, and to use image correctly we will need to go to the front view, and from here we can add image and it will be attached to our front view. So we have a couple of the important settings right here, and the first one we can tweak in channel box. It's alpha gain. We can make our image a bit more transparent, and we can definitely tweak the size of our image here. And if we will go to attribute editor, you can see now we have our image displayed in all views. That's actually what we need. We need to see the image in all views. So if we will enable looking through the camera, we will see the image only when we will use front view. That's basically all we need to start our modeling. Maybe I will adjust a little bit my picture too. So I will just drag it a little bit aside, so we will have a free space in the center of the grid. And also in the front view, I will drag my image up, so the elephant is kinda staying on the ground. And as I see in the front view, my image is flipped right now. So yeah, it's flipped. So I will need to drag it to the other side. And from here we can start our modeling process. So I will go to Mesh Tools, and let's select Create Polygon Tool. This is a new tool for us, and it's really easy. We just need to click in the places we want to create the vertices, and I will try to create an outline of the elephant. And I will create these vertices approximately on the same distance from each other, like you see on the screen. Not too dense. Pretty easy task. And it is just how we can create this complex n-gon polygon. And I will press 4 to go into wireframe mode. This will allow me to see everything I do a bit better, and I will continue to draw my outline. Something like that will do, and we can click enter to create actual surface. So right now it is just a plane, and we will need to manually add cuts, and we will try to remove all the n-gons, and we will try to stick to quad topology. Some triangles are allowed to too, because we will use smooth subdivision after we will do some cuts. So we will need a knife tool. So I will click Shift right mouse button, select multi-cut. And right now it's not working as it's supposed to be, as it's supposed to work, as you can see for me. So if something looks wrong to you, you should probably check the options of the tool you're using, and you can always reset it. So here I will go in to the channel box and I will just need to remove edge flow. Setting or mark, and now we will be able to set the cuts. So I will just try to connect the opposing vertices on the trunk. And here on the body I will just make a cut like this from one side to another. Here I will do a bit of adjustments, and I will use a blue square, so I try to not move my vertices on the Z axis to maintain this flat surface for now. And from now we can cut our elephant on the squares like this. So it will probably be a bit different for you, because you will have slightly different topology, but I think the principles would be generally the same. And from time to time we will need to do a little bit of adjustments, so I will try to even out the size of the squares, so this way we will get the most predictable result from our smooth topology. So I will add more cuts, and here I see I need to create one more vertex, so I will do so. And on the bottom I will connect my vertices too, so you can see we have one triangle right now, but triangles are really not a big deal, especially for us right now. Subdivision smooth algorithm will make a quad out of it anyway. And here I see I probably need one more cut to even the topology. So right now we have kind of a good basement to start adding volume. Maybe I will need one more cut on the trunk to be able to add the volume to it. So I will cut through all of the edges on the trunk. Like this. And here I actually forgot to make one more cut on the trunk to remove these and gone at the bottom. but that's not really big deal, as you will see. So here I will use constraint border to select all of the border edges instantly. And I will press Ctrl I to invert the selection. This way I will be able to move all of these vertices to the right a little bit to create the volume for his trunk and for the body. And I will remove the selection from the head and the trunk by using Ctrl and box. And this way I will be able to add a little bit more thickness to his belly part. So here you can see he have a neck approximately in this place, and I will adjust it a little bit, and I will also select the head approximately and drag it a little bit out. So if we will enable smoothed view on 3 on the keyboard, we will see our model smoothed, and it's quite kind of a square, have this squarish form right now. And we will need to do a couple of the adjustments. So I will add a little bit more of a thickness. And on his body, we definitely will need to remove this kind of a squarish appearance. So I will select a row of vertices with a Control, with a Shift, and I will press Control Shift with the Move tool, and let's slide these vertices a little bit to round the shape. You can definitely work a little bit more over the shape and kind of try to smooth it out. But I will move to his ear, and for the ear we will need to find the place where this ear actually starts. So that is going to happen approximately in this place you can see on the reference, and I will place one more cut in this zone. To create an ear we will need just a couple of the polygons. So I will move these vertices up and these two. And right now we can take these polygons we adjusted and we can extrude these polygons out. So I will press Shift and drag the manipulator to get this kind of a shape. And we can switch sometimes between smooth view and not smooth view by pressing 1 and 3. This will give us more information about the mesh, and I think it's necessary to do so sometimes. So here we need to add couple more cuts, or at least one cut, to have more vertices to work with. So I will press Ctrl with a multicut and I will add edge across the ear. And let's scale it on the y-axis. So I will just take these two edges and let's scale them on the y-axis. We will approximately try to create the shape of the ear, and let's switch back to the smooth view. So here it's just a matter of moving vertices around and we will try to find the best shape possible. Easy as that. You can see how different is our mesh in non-smooth view, but that's okay. So the next thing I probably want to do is to rotate the ear itself, to position it like on the reference. So I will select all the ear and we need to move our pivot point of the rotation to the base of the ear. So I will go to Move tool, press D and move the pivot point a little bit to the left. And right now we can rotate the ear closer to the body and position it better. I think this will do. And the next thing I want to work on is his teeth. Or I probably don't know how to call it in the right way, since it is not a teeth. And not a horn, so something in between. So we will need to pick one vertex approximately positioned close to the basement of his teeth, and with Control Shift and pressed I will use manipulator to slide this vertex a bit more to the basement of his teeth, and after that we will be able to use this vertex for our extrusion. as you can remember, when we extrude our vertex, we get this kind of a triangular shape. So let's press Ctrl E. And I will reduce the width of a basement, and we can work on the length too. And we also will need a couple of divisions to bend his tooth a little bit. And as you can see, our tooth is coming out of his skin, so we will need to create this kind of a transition between the skin and the tooth. And I will move pivot to the base of his tooth to be able to rotate it a little bit according to the reference. So something like that will do for now. In a smooth view, it looks like something round, and that's what we need. And let's create the transition between the skin and the tooth itself. So here we will need a couple of the additional edges, and we can add these edges by just beveling this edge. And let's add one more segment. Bevel is Ctrl B shortcut. And I will adjust a little bit the vertices to make the tooth more round. We will need to do it manually. Now I'm trying to do it with a vertex slide, but it's probably better to just adjust it with manipulator without any modifiers pressed. And let's go to the edges, and let's select the first edge, and I want to scale it. But you can see I'm scaling right now not from the point I want to, so I will need to go to the settings of my tool and press reset to reset the pivot. And let's scale it a little bit. Already starting to work for us. And the second edge I will just drag a bit into the first one. So we will get this kind of a transition, and the third I will slide a little bit closer. So this way we will get this kind of a shape. It's not perfectly matching the reference, but it will do for us. It probably would be a better idea to do this transition a bit closer to the head itself, but I just don't want to return to the starting point, so we will continue. And here with these we can enlarge it a little bit at first, and secondly we can just bend it a little bit too. I will also adjust the pivot for this operation. And you can definitely do it to your taste, or you can just try to copy the reference. So the next thing we will need to do is to extrude the legs. And to do so we need to pick couple polygons. So we can check them on reference. This polygon seems to be nice for this task. But for the front leg we don't have such a polygon, so we will need to create it. And it will be approximately right here, so I will adjust these vertices a little bit. And let's go to V perspective. And with a multi-cut I will connect these vertices. And you can see right now we have a bit of the intersections in the normal view. When the model is not smooth, this is not really an important issue, since the smooth operation will fix it, but I will just remove the intersections anyway, and I will remove the edge from this polygon too by pressing Ctrl Delete. And now we kinda have our base polygons for the legs. And let's make extrusion. I will add thickness. And let's just add a little bit more thickness when we need for now. And I will adjust the position of these extruded polygons. Let's go to the front view and let's position the legs according to the reference. And as you can see, our bottom polygons are not flat right now, but since we will need to kind of stay on the ground, we need to make them flat. And it is really easy. We will need just to select vertices, go to the scale tool and drag the Y manipulator down. And this will scale everything to 0 on the Y axis. This is really handy and you will use this technique a lot. So right now let's just level the legs of the elephant. And let's move to perspective and see how it looks. Here we have kind of a concave face. And we will need to adjust it, and maybe let's move this leg a little bit closer to the center. And you can see in the smooth view we have two round shape at the bottom of the legs, so we will need to add couple of the edges to maintain the form. And I will do it with a multicad tool. While holding control, we will be able to add couple of the edges and to form his hoof too. So this way we're already getting a bit more of that shape we need. And here I will also scale a little bit his hoof. Well, I'm sure it's not a hoof. Well, I can't call it a paw too. I can't call it a feet too, so I don't even know how we should call it in English. So I will add one more cut to the center, and it will allow us to create this kind of a elephant foot shape. You can adjust it to your liking just by moving the vertices. Scaling them, that's quite easy to do. And let's go to the perspective and let's check the shape, the overall shape. At the back leg, I see everything is kinda not round, so I will try to round the shape a little bit. Like that. And on the front leg we probably need to round it a little bit more too. Good enough for me. And let's move on. So right now we will need to symmetrize our model, and to symmetrize it we will need to have a pivot point in the center of the grid. And you will need to check the axis you will need for the mirror operation. And let's go to our mirror operation itself. And here you can see something is wrong and we are not getting the result we expecting. That's because we will need to change the axis from X to Z, and sometimes you will also need to change the direction of the mirror. In case you have a result like this. So we also will need to set the border to merge border because we want the central vertices to be sewed. And we will need to adjust merge threshold sometimes a little bit. We already know what is that. So basically if merge threshold is on 0, our vertices is not sewed. So we will need to give it a little bit of a value right here. And the model is smooth right now. We definitely have a couple of the problems. For example, on between the back legs, we will need to take these edges and move it a little bit up. And that will do. And if you want your animal, your elephant, to be able to bend your knee, you will need to add at least 2, or I would say 3 edges on the knees of the elephant. I will not do so because I know I will not animate this guy. And you can see our elephant when we using smooth preview kind of shrinking a little bit. So we will need to take the vertices and put it back to the reference position. What is always happening because our model is getting smoothed a little bit, so it's normal. So I think it looks okay already, but you definitely can do it more beautiful and at least adjust the curvature of the head a little bit more, maybe something like that. And here I'm talking that if you want to bend the knee, you just need to add couple of the edges. And as a homework, I advise to you and I ask you to try to make a tail of the elephant. It would be a nice practice for you. But right now, let's not forget that our model is really low poly right now. We haven't smoothed it yet. We will need to do so. So let's go to Modeling Toolkit, select our model and press Smooth. And here you can adjust the divisions, add the divisions to your model to get actual polygons. And when you apply smooth, it will not be easy anymore to change the overall proportions of your mesh. So when we have low vertex count, it's quite easy for us to do. But when you having a lot of polygons and a lot of vertices, that will just break overall shape, as you can see. We will get these ridges we don't want. So what we can do to adjust the proportions is we can use soft selection. So I will click B on the keyboard to enable it, and let's use B and left mouse button to adjust the zone of the selection. That's quite easy to do. And right now we can still fix the proportions of our model if we want to. And don't forget to enable symmetry if you want to make adjustments on the both sides. And I think it was a good practice and our model is ready for now. Let's move on to our next models.